In the darkness of May the 2nd, 2011, 2 helicopters full of US Navy SEALs touched down inside a compound in Pakistan, a mission that would kill al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. 10 years on, the operation is hailed as a significant victory for the US, but continues to haunt the al-Qaeda and Pakistan every day. Take a look.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
These words mark the end of a hunt, one that spanned over several years and 2 presidents. The world's most wanted terrorist was dead, killed in a top U.S. operation. 10 years later, children play cricket in a patch of scorched grass, running amid scattered rubble in Abbottabad. This is all that remains of the final lair of bin Laden, once the most wanted person on the planet. It was codenamed Operation Neptune Spear. The mission was to kill or capture bin Laden. While the operation took months to plan, the actual mission lasted only 40 minutes from start to finish. On the other side of the world, it was a tense moment in the Situation Room. President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, and key White House policymakers remained glued to the screen as they waited to hear the words Geronimo, IKEA. In the cold military jargon, IKEA means enemy killed in action, signaling that the team had killed their target, while many suggested Geronimo was the code name for Laden. The operation began at around 1 a.m. local time. Black Hawk helicopters take off from Afghanistan, carrying a team of around 25 Navy SEALs. They swooped down on the compound, swept through buildings within the walled enclosure, killed 5 people, including Osama bin Laden. Laden was found and killed in 9 minutes, in what many call a flawless mission. Minutes later, the SEALs left the compound, carrying bin Laden's body and a horde of other al-Qaeda intelligence.
A small team of Americans carried out the operation with extraordinary courage and capability. No Americans were harmed. They took care to avoid civilian casualties. After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
From there, bin Laden's body was flown to the USS Carl Vinson, a U.S. aircraft carrier in the North Arabian Sea. It was here that he was prepared for the burial. The body was placed in a weighted bag and dropped into the water from the vessel's deck. The killing was a significant victory for the U.S. government. People cheered the move for days. For many families of 9/11 victims, it was a moment of justice. The operation also had global repercussions. It dented Pakistan's international reputation, exposing contradictions in the country that served a rear base for al-Qaeda. Bin Laden had been living in Abbottabad for 5 years, hidden behind the walls of an imposing white building, a high-walled enclosure with privacy screens all around, less than 2 kilometers from a renowned military academy.
It was an embarrassment for the Pakistani state that Pakistan was a non-NATO ally and the partner in the war against terrorism, and one of the most wanted terrorists of the world found on the Pakistani side, and he was killed by the US Marines. So this was, of course, a big embarrassment for Pakistan.
Pakistani officials could deny knowing he was there, but in doing so, they would be admitting to an intelligence failure. They could also say that bin Laden was under their protection, but it would mean they were powerless to prevent the operation. Pakistan opted for the former, denying Laden's existence. But the damage was already done. Islamabad had failed to prevent the operation on its soil, reinforcing an already strong anti-American sentiment. As for the Al-Qaeda, the group survived but struggled. Without its leader, it was no longer able to launch attacks. 10 years after the killing of its founder, Al-Qaeda bears little resemblance to its former self, the formidable terror network that struck the U.S. on September 11, 2001. But even under a starkly different leadership structure, the Al-Qaeda continues to remain a threat till date. Bureau Report. WION World is One.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.